challenged my admiration. Said he, "Let go the main hatch! Belay! Haul away on your topsail jib! Belay! Clew up your top gallantsail spanker boom halyards! Belay! Port your gaff topsail skyscrapers! Belay! Lively, you lubbas! Take a reef in the lee scuppers! Belay! Mr. Baxter, it's coming on to blow at about 4 bells in the hog-watch. Have everything taut and trim for it. Belay!" The ship was rolling fearfully. At this point I got up and started over to ask the captain if it wouldn't be a good idea to belay a little for a change, but I fell down. I then resumed my former seat. For 20 minutes after this I took careful note of how the captain leaned his body to port when the ship lurched to starboard, and hard to larboard when she lurched to port, and then got up to practice a little. I only met with moderate success, though, and after a few extraordinary evolutions, fetched up against the mainmast. The concussion did not injure the mast perceptibly, but if it had been a brick house the case might have been very different. I proceeded below, rather discouraged. Several effects of the turbulent sea. I found 22 passengers leaning over bulwarks, vomiting and remarking, "Oh, my God," and then vomiting again. Brown was there, ever kind and thoughtful, passing from one to another and saying, "That's all right, you know. It'll clean you out like a jug, and then you won't feel so onery and smell so ridiculous." The sea was very rough for several days and nights, and the vessel rolled and pitched heavily. All but 6 or 8 of us took their meals in bed constantly, and remained shut up in the stateroom day and night. The saloons and decks looked deserted and lonesome, but gradually the seasick unfortunates convalesced until our dinner complement was augmented to 15 or 20. There were frames or racks on the tables to keep the dishes in their places, but they did not always succeed in doing it. An occasional heavy lurch would hoist out a dozen and start them prospecting for the deck. Brown was bitterly opposed to the racks, and said he "wasn't raised to eat out of them brick molds." No rack would answer for soup. The soup plate had to be held in the hand and nicely tilted from side to side to accommodate the fluid to the pitching of the ship. The chairs were not fastened to the floor, and it was fun to see a procession of gentlemen go sliding backwards to the bulkhead, holding their soup plates on the level with their breasts, and giving their whole attention to preventing the contents from splashing out. They would come back with the flow tide and sail away again on the ebb. It would not do to set a glass of water down. The attentive waiters kept bringing water to Brown, who was always talking, and would not see the glass set down in time to make his remark heard. "Frank, don't bring me any water. Have to drink it at a gulp to keep it from spilling, and I've had more'n enough already." And yet about once every 2 minutes some passenger opposite would put up his hands and shrink behind them and exclaim, "Your water, Mr. Brown! Your water! Look out for your water!" And lo, the suffering Brown would find his glass once more replenished and canting dangerously to leeward. It would be instantly seized and emptied. At the end of a quarter of an hour Brown had accomplished nothing in the way of dinner, on account of these incessant watery interruptions. The boy Frank brought another glass of water, and said, "Will you have some beefsteak, Mr. Brown?" "Take that water and go to blazes with it. Beefsteak? No. I've drank 11 gallons of water in 15 minutes, and there ain't room enough in me for a sirloin steak off'n a sand-fly." Journal. Heaving my log, I find the following entries on my tablets. Wednesday, 7th. Left San Francisco at 4 p.m. Rough night. Thursday. Weather still rough. Passengers nearly all sick. Only half a dozen at breakfast out of 30. Friday. Strong gale all night. Heavy sea on this evening. Black overhead. Saturday. Weather same, or more so. You can rake that 4 days' dose of your infamous Pacific, Mr. Balboa, and digest it, and you may consider it well for your reputation in California that we had pretty fair weather the balance of the voyage. If we hadn't, I would have given you a blast in this letter that would have made your old dry bones rattle in your coffin, you shameless old foreign humbug. Mark Twain. End of Letter 1. Section 2 of Mark Twain's Letters from Hawaii. Letter number 2. Honolulu, March 19th.